Financial stress is hard on everyone. Your family, your children, your entire life can be affected. With constant harassing calls from creditors serving as a constant reminder of your financial crisis, it may be time to take action. Let our bankruptcy attorneys guide you every step of the way in getting your life back on track and getting rid of those harassing creditors. Contact one of our friendly staff now to set up a free, no obligation consultation to help find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. We've helped dozens of clients complete the bankruptcy process, and our experienced team can answer any questions you may have along the way. So don't wait. Contact us now. You'll be glad you did.
From Silver Spring, Maryland, this is Global Affairs Network. I'm your host, Malik Linzanzo. On this episode of GAN Politics Tonight is Claude David, a Washington native who has been a homeowner in Wakefield since 2013. She is currently the executive director of DC Democratic Party. During our conversation tonight, she will talk about her candidacy as the advisory neighborhood commissioner. That is coming up right now. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
Hi,
Claudette?
Malik. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Wonderful. Yes,
Good.
it's crystal clear. I'm so glad you came. I know this is a crazy time. This is a election season. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
know. I don't even know how you do it from your personal jobs, the campaigning, and all this craziness that could come with it. Because I know how crazy that can be. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
2018 on the
Yeah.
ground. You had to go to work and then campaign all night. That it was crazy. So I'm glad you took some time to come and say hello to us. Um, as you know, this is very important, and how democracy works when voters are informed about their decisions, and that's how I understand it, and I know you understand that. That's why you took some time to come and talk to us. Some people just expect the voters to be reading their website and trying to find out information by themselves. But you've been in the game for a long time, so you understand the importance of being almost everywhere to make sure that everything the voters need to know about you, is being taken seriously. So I did that little introduction about you. I don't know if there's more to be said about you, but I know there is the extensive resume that I couldn't just go through it. Is there anything particular that you want to the viewer to know? Who is Claudette David?
Hey, Malik. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Claudette David, live in DC. First generation American. Been in politics for a really long time, more than almost 20 years, more than 10 years, and learned it firsthand. Just my parents are from Haiti, and having been to Haiti and following the politics there, just got me really interested in global affairs and just how countries interact with each other. So I then studied international relations at George Mason University, and then after I graduated, did Peace Corps in Gabon, which is where Malik is from. And I was a community health educator in Gabon for 2 years. And that was the first time that I actually worked in a community setting, having to identify problems in a community, identify all the key stakeholders in a community, and create projects working with people in the community. And I've been doing that ever since. I've been working on I've worked on the Hill for 10 years. Then worked in the Virginia General Assembly, led campaigns, winning campaigns for a couple years, and now I'm running to be a leader in my community, for an elected seat as an advisory neighborhood commissioner.
Wow. I mean, it looks like your entire life has been a service. Going to Africa for the first time, as I suggest, as a Peace Corps volunteer. We are being. I was inspired, to be honest. I don't know. I've told you this story before. I was inspired to come to the United States by a former teacher. She was a Peace Corps volunteer. Miss Heather Laszlo, um, uh, who was a fantastic woman that inspired
You
me to.
remember her name?
Yeah, Heather. We're still in touch, as a matter of
What
fact.
was her name?
Heather.
Oh,
That was
Heather.
way back, more than
Okay.
20 years. That was way back.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, because we,
that's.
we we have a Facebook group, so I could just
Oh,
like
okay.
ask anyone knows Heather who was in Gabon.
Yeah, I mean, I know who she is. I know where she is right now. She live in New Jersey. I remember the first year when I came in the United States, 2020, 2001. It was pretty hard to go and find some other friends from Peace Corps. If you go to the Peace Corps, downtown DC, they will just tell you that they don't give you this kind of information. So from there, friend that I knew before Heather, I was just cut off from them. It will be a very, very, very good if I can get in touch back to that community. Those are the people that actually inspire me to stay in school and to come to the United States. So for you
That's awesome.
you always being a woman of service, going to Africa, and I don't know that experience in Peace Corps. Is that kind of a shape your view of global politics?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it was there that I learned honestly that I learned the same thing twice. So in Gabon, I learned politics is local. You know, you learn that politics is local, and then again in 2016, I was part of. It was called the U.S. Congress German Bundesrat staff exchange. So the Germany's parliament has a partnership with the U.S. Congress, and 10 staff members from the Bundestag and the Bundesrat come to the U.S. And learn about U.S. politics and culture, and 10 people from U.S. House and U.S. Senate go to Germany to learn about Germany's politics and culture. And so I was one of the 10 in 2016. I went to Germany and got to meet the Chancellor Angela Merkel. And there, everyone asked about Trump. He was not even the candidate for the Republicans yet. He wasn't their nominee, and they were all asking us about it. But the crazy thing is like they were just so interested in how people in the U.S. would vote that year that it made me realize again all politics all politics is local, and it even affects global politics as well, because they were looking at how our voting pattern would determine how what Germany would do in a couple years, because they were thinking if the US votes one way, then Germany would do another thing, or would do something else right after they see this, right after the US election. So what ended up happening is Trump got elected, and then in response, international countries did the opposite. So, I mean, they do have a rising, both the US and Germany and the UK have like a rising nationalist organization. But what they did is, like, France elected Macron, who was like opposite of the nationalist group. You know, Germany, at that point, I think Angela Merkel went for re-election. So people were kind of like protesting what, they were kind of like, we don't want to be like the US, we'll do something different. So, it was just interesting to see that relationship. So in 2016 is when I, stopped working. I was working on the Hill in a nonpartisan position, and decided that I would just start doing local politics and just work my way up from there. And, it's just kind of seeing how, like, when you're a campaign manager and you're helping a candidate, you're helping a candidate plan how they're going to reach their constituents. You're helping them plan debates. You're helping them plan different things. And then, so seeing this position that came up, I was like, you know what? I've helped train people to do this so many times, but it's so different when you're the candidate. Like, I need someone who was like me. Like, I need like a campaign manager because it's so different when you're the candidate. But it's an amazing experience in a sense that I just enjoy empowering communities, because this job as an ANC commissioner is really it's improving the community and educating the community at the same time, making my constituents aware of what's happening in our community, listening to them or any issues or concerns that they have, helping them resolve any issues. But it's a very dynamic relationship with constituents, with my neighbors that I enjoy. That's the part of it that I really like.
Well, it looks like you have answered a lot of a question on the top of my list. One of them was, why you running? Because I know you as a background kind of a strategic, a kind of a politician. You help people to win elections, and I was kind of wow, family. Claudette is throwing herself in the game as a candidate herself.
Yeah.
But beside that, I always know that you are political savvy, and through the years you have learned so many technique, and as you say, politics is local. If you understand local, then you can go to the top and try and do a difference. Because a lot of a problem that we have in our political discourse, and even in the way politics works, is that once you get to the top, you tend to forget where you come from, and you get into in a mix of this big money in the politics, and then you not cater to donors and big donors and all kind of stuff. But I don't know if it's always been a choice for you to try to position yourself as non-partisan. And I know this position also is a non-partisan, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really weird how it all works out. But, in politics too, like, the minute I mean, and I've learned and I've seen this, the minute a politician forget about the people that vote for them into that position, I mean, it's really like the people hire you into that position. The minute you forget about them, they decide to choose somebody else. So you always have to be connected, no matter how many years that anyone have been in their position in politics. Never ever forget about your voters. Never forget about the constituents, because they will just vote you out, and someone else will step in. But I never thought about running for anything. Like you said, I've always been the person in the background helping. But this, my experiences in the past couple years have kind of opened a lot of relationships. So even with this position, I'd be working with community liaisons for different federal, for DC, like local government agencies. And there are people that I've met already through work that I've been doing already. Elected officials, I'd be working with, elected officials that I've worked with through my work already. So so it's pretty much connecting the things that I've already done so far. It's pretty much everything I've already done so far. So it's just, so it doesn't seem like it's just a far-reaching thing to do. It's like it just came about so naturally for me.
Yeah, absolutely, pretty much. But there's still people who are still wondering what is the advisory neighborhood commissioner. I know you
I'm
said
sorry.
I said there's a lot of viewers that eventually want to know a little bit more about that. The
Yeah,
advisory neighborhood commissioner. I know you've said some
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
already about it, but can you just go in depth? What is that? What what that position? What are your
Yeah, so
responsibilities?
DC has like 8 wards, and then each ward, the way DC is cut up is each ward has districts, and in total there are 40 districts called advisory neighborhood commissions. And then within those districts, they've cut they've kind of cut up territory so that every 2,000 voters has a representative within each ward. So where I live, it's a weird cutout how it's done, but it's just within like a 1 mile radius of where I live. And there's, including apartment buildings, there's 1,500 voters, including, so they're renters, homeowners, single family homeowners, and that's how they cut it up. And the purpose is to is to kind of connect the residents with government. So it's supposed to make governing easier. It's supposed to just make just government relations for residents easier. It's supposed to make it easier for, if a resident has like a faulty, there's a cable line that has fallen in like a cul-de-sac community, they can just call me and I could connect, with the proper, department and get that fixed.
Okay.
Instead of just kind of going to the council member, and getting that fixed, then there's somebody closer to you that you can actually go to get things done. If there's a speeding issue and you want to, and it, and the community feels like, okay, there needs to be speed bumps in my community, they call me to make that happen instead of going to the council member, which will probably take a longer time. Like, you easily have someone within a 1 mile radius that can help fix that for you.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. You kind of bridging out both community, political community, and the community, the local community. We said that before. Sometimes this the people that we elect get into the mix of so many stuff to do, so many politics to talk about it. That sometimes you need somebody who job is to remind you that you still have some issues. You need to go and fix some of these issues, and that's a really, I was not really educated on that position up to now. I started to do some research and found out that's a pretty cool things to do. And
And
now,
it's
now
a, it's
you
an interesting position too, because there are, depending on where you live, there are residents that just aren't really that active. So someone could run and be elected into that position because, they had no opponent. Couple people, they ran unopposed. And you can be in the position and literally just do nothing. Nobody knows who you are, what you do. I mean, that can happen. I mean, if you go to a neighborhood and it's like probably just like trash everywhere, not clean, it's probably in DC, like a resident would be able to just call their ANC person to take care of it, and they probably just hadn't. Probably don't even know a person is there. You know, so even when I'm campaigning and I live where there's, you know, on a main road where there's a lot of people who live in apartment buildings, you know, there's a lot of turnover. So I'm also educating people like, hey, there's, you know, I'm ready to be an ANC commissioner, and this is what an ANC commissioner does. And then there are ANC commissioners who are very active. I mean, a friend of mine recently worked with the DC Board of Education in his community and did voter registrations in his community. You know, you could do all types of things. You could do some type of health related initiative. You can do I live near Rock Creek Park. You know, I could, you know, just do some just nature walks. You know, I could do something like that. But then there are, you know, more serious things related to the community legislation that I'd be working on as an ANC commissioner, because there are several legislative issues that has come up in my community. And, you know, as an advisory neighborhood commissioner, our council members look to us to just get feedback on how the neighborhood thinks on, you know, different changes in the neighborhood. Like I live off of Connecticut Avenue in Northwest, and, you know, there's an issue of traffic. And so, you know, there's a traffic study, and, you know, now the issue is, okay, what do we do from there? Like, how do we prevent accidents, fatalities? You know, how do we handle that? And so advisory neighborhood commissioners become involved in that type of discussion as well.
That is, I don't know. Yeah, I lived in DC like for 7 years though, and I was a student on the Georgetown part. Um, but I don't know if a lot of people are educated about, you know, these people, advisory commissioners. It would be cool because we usually tend to reach out to the wrong people. Not really wrong, but the people that actually hard to even put your hand on. And you know, that would be a pretty interesting service to the community. And I know you have no problem whatsoever. You've been a servicewoman, like I said, for a long time. You know, you've been overseas. I hope the experience you have had overseas, knowing that America is a melting pot.
Hmm.
It's people from all walks of life, or all, you know, part of the world coming in this country, and you bringing that, you know, perspective, you know, from outside the United States.
Hmm.
I think that will give you a much leverage in terms of understanding how to deal with different people from different countries, background.
Yeah, that's definitely helped me learn how to work with people and just be a listener and just kind of understand quickly what the problem is, and how to resolve it, or how to just make people feel comfortable once they've identified what their problem is and how to respond to that. Even if I couldn't figure it out at that point in time, but just how to make people feel assured that they've been heard, and that there will be some type of follow up, or something will happen. At least some type of follow up will happen. But yeah, just the experience of working with so many different people in Gabon, in a community where it was just so different, and I had to learn the culture. On the hill, well, that community is different, and I have to learn the culture. And then and on the hill, you deal with a lot of power issues as well. So, I'm in a nonprofit world now, and that's a different culture. And, once you start getting into politics, everything is about power. And so just, how to actually not get caught up into egos and just think about the main goal and how to work with other, how to work together with people to make things happen has really been the theme throughout my career. Is like, how do I work with people to make things happen?
Now, I'm just interested to know, you have an experience working for Congress.
What did you say? You sound really quiet, like you're whispering.
Quiet. Really? Let me maybe get closer to my. Can you hear me now?
Better, louder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let me get a little bit louder. No, I was talking. I actually was talking about the fact that you came from. You work on the Senate floor, right?
I worked in the U.S. Senate. I worked for the Homeland Security Committee, though, in the Senate.
Yeah.
I was a committee staffer.
Now, coming from the Senate, where you and this is the U.S. Senate. This is where the most powerful people.
Yeah.
And for you to say that you kind of know how to stay away from power, or maybe you now know how to manage power.
I know how to. Yeah, exactly. I know how to navigate it, manage it. You're in it. Like, you don't stay away from it, but you're in it. So you just have to manage it. Yeah. And everything that comes with it, the good and the bad. Yeah.
You really have to be skillful because, to be honest with you, a lot of people get caught up into power. And
it's diplomacy. It's all diplomacy.
Yeah. And I do trust your diplomacy because I've seen you when you were a campaign director on the delegate election in Maryland. I see how you were able to navigate, between all these people, different people, including the opponents, including myself. So I do understand your diplomacy, and you're pretty good at it. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we come back, and we're gonna continue to talk about, your vision and how you plan to help the community.
Welcome to Igniting Champions of Change. The Igniters Institute supports individuals, teams, and small businesses in resolving complex personal and professional matters while developing strategies that advance goals and create viable solutions. Coaching that transforms and realigns your life and career, yielding immediate success. 8 effective web-based and live leadership development training modules designed to amplify individuals and teams. Business consulting designed to build engaged individuals, cohesive teams, and successful companies. Feel free to call one of our friendly staff now to arrange a free, no-obligation consultation to discuss your personal or business needs. We look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. Listen, it's like I said, once you've been exposed to the highest level of power, like in the Senate, and for you to come back to your community and still want to serve the community in a very in a very neutral way, I think is very commending. I commend you for that. But is this a 2 years position, right?
Yes, 2 years.
So, yep. And then after that, you got to get elected again.
Yes.
And I was just trying to understand as well, knowing that you still the director, the DC director as far as the Democratic Party is concerned.
In DC.
In DC. So how you be able to manage both positions? Because you're not gonna step down from your.
No. I mean, everyone who does this has a full-time job. It's almost like if you're a board member for an organization and you're just doing this on the side. I mean, it's a pretty serious work on the side, but no, I'm not going to step down from my position to do this. This position is expected to be something that people do in conjunction with their regular, not full-time jobs. it was never created to just be a full-time job in itself.
I see, absolutely. So, the neighborhood that you said you were talking about the cut, the way, this is pretty interesting. I've been living, I lived there for 7 years. It's really bizarre the way they design or decided, what word it belonged to, what part of the city. Are you able now to navigate and to know exactly what portion of the city you cover, or you also know, you probably already know other commissioner in other part of the city. Is that a
I
plan
I
for you to work
will
with them?
I will know them all, because they do have. I think they have like quarterly meetings for all the commissioners. I mean, right now everybody's in election mode because all of the seats are up right now throughout the city. They're all up, and so so there are a lot of contested races right now as well. And I know a few right now just because of my job. And but we'll see what happens after November 3rd, because I would show you my ballot, but so you can see that I'm on the ballot right now. Maybe after the next break, because I haven't even opened the envelope because I'm so afraid to see my name. It's just weird to see my name on there, but uh,
It's
but yeah,
interesting to
I'm on
see.
the ballot, huh?
It's so interesting to see how it feels because you've been always in the back, strategizing and trying to give people the best way to win a campaign. Now you are on the ballot yourself. How's
Yeah,
that feel? Is that
yeah, I had
is
to
a
get
little scary?
signatures, and I had
Now,
to.
now you have a chance to see to feel how we used to feel, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Go
you had a
on.
lot of candidate forms. I remember too. Yeah,
Yeah, and you have to go on the platform, answers those questions.
yeah,
It's pretty, and sometimes it's pretty intense, and
yeah,
and it's good though. It's just complete. It's complete. It completes your life as a politician. You be a wonderful public servant, a community organizer, and somebody who is always ready to do something for the goodness of the community. So for you to experience this, I'm telling you, it's not easy. I know being a candidate is not an easy task because
yeah,
you always have to think about how you can bring this stuff the best to or the best of your ability. Although
yeah,
you know yourself as an honest person,
yeah,
somebody who's ready to do the job, but it's always how people gonna perceive you or how you can convey your message so that
yeah,
people are on the same level. I mean, yeah, understanding where you come from and where you want to take the community. We have, this show is actually 45 minutes. We don't have enough time left. I'm trying to squeeze as much questions as I can
okay.
because of the time goes so fast before you know
It
it.
does. It's like, oh my
It's
gosh,
yeah,
it's already been. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
It's been a very cool conversation we have. One question that I wanted to ask you was about the you currently executive director of I think I did already, director of the Democratic Party. If elective, are you gonna step down? And your answer was no, and you also answer how you're gonna manage this position. I think what we for this couple minutes left, we probably have to come back uh, to your service overseas as a Peace Corps volunteer.
You just
You
want to
know,
talk about Gabon. That's all you. I
I'm
see
from
how it is.
Gabon,
You really just want to talk about Gabon. Yes,
no,
it's a
I'm
beautiful country. It's awesome.
no. Honestly, I just want to understand why is that in the Peace Corps? Because you're probably one of the few African American that serve as a Peace Corps volunteer. One of the very few. I'm when you say you were a volunteer, I was a little bit surprised. Why is that there's less African American Peace Corps volunteers? What is that? Do you know anybody that is African American during your
Yeah,
time?
I mean, I was one of like three of maybe like 30 people, 20 maybe that did Peace Corps that was like black in Gabon. I don't know what the numbers are, but I mean, yeah, there might be like five. You know, I don't know what the percentage is, but there are more like black people doing the Peace Corps. I mean, well, you know, at this point right now, it's you know the Peace Corps has been suspended because of COVID-19. But there's been a because you know they've actually had a push of like really recruiting people at like HBCUs and all that. Um, so you know it's possible to meet more black people that's done Peace Corps.
Yeah, I mean, they just
I mean,
want
I
to.
didn't know anyone when I
Yeah,
did
I
it, but
never.
it was kind of. I don't really look to know people when I do things. It's kind of like I get an idea and I just do it. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, I hear you. So this last minutes that we have, I just want to give you a chance to tell your viewers, people who are watching this program, whether it's today or tomorrow,
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Please check out my website at Claudette for ANC. .com and please donate to my campaign as well. And you know the limit is $25. It's only $25 to donate to my campaign. Uh, uh, thank you so much for this opportunity, and you'll hear from me after November 3rd. We should do a follow up.
Absolutely. Listen, I know you have still up to the election day. You're gonna continue to work hard and to make sure that everybody, all votes counts. Also to make sure that our citizen, the citizen in your neighborhood, register and vote because you know how important this election season is. I didn't want to get into the presidential politics because I know it's a neutral position you're running on, but we will have some other occasions where I would like to know your position on what's going on right now in our presidential elections, politics, if you want, if you will. So, listen, Claudette, you know, on a regular time, I won't let you go, but we have a time restraint. We have to respect the time. We have to let you go, and please feel free to come back in our show, and we will be more than happy to talk to you when you win. Come back. We would like to celebrate this victory with you, and I want here to call on the community, especially the immigrants community that live in the DC area. I live in a DC area. Even if you live in Maryland, that you have some folks in DC, please share this video so that they know exactly that you are running for office and you are actually the right person for this job. Knowing what you're already doing and seeing what you're capable of doing for your community. So with that, if you don't have anything else to say to add to that, because I know you'll be ready to go, feel free to
No,
say
it's
something.
fine. I just remember, like, you didn't ask me where my community is.
Listen, go
But
ahead.
next
You know,
time, I'm like, wait,
go ahead.
nobody knows where it is. But okay,
Yeah,
but it but
yeah.
it but it covers politics and prose up Connecticut Avenue,
Okay,
Brandywine up to Nebraska.
okay.
So that's on me, and my
So
posters are all up.
that's the area because you just mentioned a little bit of Connecticut. I was thinking you already say everything. So can you repeat again what your constituency are? I mean, where are the people that's supposed to vote for you? Can you repeat that
Yeah,
again?
yeah, they're Brandy, just Connecticut Avenue. The area is called like Westfield and Forest Hills. So it's Brandywine up to Nebraska Avenue Northwest. Parts of it covers politics and prose. There's a business strip there. Um, and then it kind of just, there's a weird loop of like communities, but that's the general area that it covers.
Absolutely. And also below this page here, there's the email address. I think this is the correct one. They can email you, and they will have more information, especially if they want to contribute to your campaign. Don't give a million, just give $25 or less than that. Is that right?
Yep, yep.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, I don't know if there's something else because you know what, I
That's
don't
it.
want you to
That's
say. Okay,
have
great.
a good evening.
So you know what, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward for your victory because we will pray and continue to make sure that everybody that's supposed to vote for you are aware that you're on the ballot. This is your time. You've been doing all of this for people for a long time. Helping people to win the election. This is a time where people have to step up and help you out to win this election. So again, thank you so much, Claudette, for coming. We are looking forward for to celebrate your victory coming November 3rd. Bye bye. Okay, this concludes our program for today. That was Claudette David. She's running for advisory neighborhood commissioner. Please, folks, go and vote for her. I think she deserves it. She's a very, very, very well-informed candidate. Somebody who does what she says and says what she do. So please make sure that you vote for her. All right. So thank you. We want to thank our sponsors. And we're probably gonna play some of the videos. Make sure that you
Welcome to Igniting Champions of Change. The Igniters Institute supports individuals, teams, and small businesses in resolving complex personal and professional matters while developing strategies that advance goals and create viable solutions. Coaching that transforms and realigns your life and career, yielding immediate success. 8 effective web-based and live leadership development training modules designed to amplify individuals and teams. Business consulting designed to build engaged individuals, cohesive teams, and successful companies. Feel free to call one of our friendly staff now to arrange a free, no-obligation consultation to discuss your personal or business needs. We look forward to working with you.